Thank you for having me. It was a really interesting conversation this morning. And so I'm hopeful that the second part will kind of give people some practical understanding of how to move a lot of this activism into the political realm. As Vonda mentioned, I'm Jennifer Blemur, and I'm the Director of Women Legislators Lobby, which is a program of women's action for new directions. I'm just going to have a presentation here for you, so I'm going to pull that up. And so Women's Action for New Directions, we build women's political power with a focus on advocating for security and peace with justice. First created in 1982 to bring women into the discussion of nuclear weapons. Women Legislators Lobby, or WILL, is a program of one, and we bring together women state legislators to advocate for a federal budget that focuses on meeting the pertinent human needs of our communities. And we do that by advocating for redirecting military spending into the areas that we need, and also elevating women into political office who are more likely to introduce legislation that is geared towards helping their community. What is core to our organization is that women are critical figures in reducing militarism and building up their communities. Will legislators engage in action through our national budget priorities, through advocating for nuclear disarmament and women's political empowerment? One of the ways in which we do that is one of our main campaigns, which is our budget letter. Our budget letter is how our legislators get that message to members of Congress. In particular, in this joint sign-on letter, where we have our members all across the nation sign on for it. This year, we asked for no more drastic cuts to domestic programs without first considering cuts to the Pentagon, more federal investments in domestic needs, redirecting money that would not go to nuclear weapons and instead go to states for emergency management, and ending the OCO fund. And this letter we put together even before the coronavirus pandemic, because we wanted to ensure that states had the funds that they need to make sure that they were able to provide for health, education, job creation, and infrastructure for the constituents that live here. The other way our legislators engage in kind of this advocacy and activism is through our United Against Nuclear War coalition. Within this coalition, it's us and about a dozen other groups, and we work together to get state and city elected officials to introduce resolutions related to these issues. We've had legislators introduce resolutions calling on the United States to adopt a no first use policy, 4 of which have been introduced and passed. The first state to pass it was California. We've also had resolutions passed in New Jersey, Illinois, and Oregon. We also had a resolution introduced this year in Missouri. However, because of Corona, it has been a bit stalled. So we're hopeful that we'll be able to kind of move forward with this at some point. So lawmaker to lawmaker, they understand the different arguments that will resonate. What we do as an organization is that we educate and equip our legislators with the information they need to successfully argue this message. Our main focus points are that the Pentagon has too much money, not enough oversight, and is prone to waste, fraud, and abuse. And for many legislators, that argument does ring true. But we kind of tailor our arguments based off of the legislators that respond to it. And so for some legislators, they could respond to, here we have a bunch of money going somewhere where there is no oversight. The Pentagon failed its first audit. We know that Pentagon officials have spent money on toilets, on food, on anything to blow the money out. And instead, we could be spending that money, like I said, into health and education. For other audiences, they'd be more receptive to hearing that we need to find ways to save money first, and then we can figure out how to spend that money later. And so being able to craft different arguments helps us be effective in our overall mission in reducing wasteful military spending. What is also helpful in the work that we do is we have partners in Congress who share our policy priorities with their colleagues who work with us to draft opinion pieces, not only for themselves, but also for our state legislators, and also help us develop public awareness campaigns so that constituents can know what's going on. Overall, state legislators can wield considerable influence in this campaign against endless war and militarism at the expense of people. What we will continue to do to be effective is continue to create strategies that focus on people and their needs and meeting their human needs and elevating that over the profits that are gained by endless war and militarism. Hopefully we'll continue to be able to do this work where we can build a healthy and safe international community. Thank you.